Every day is different. Every video is different. But my passion will always be the same. Oh. Oh. Oh my god! This is Kai for Warshawn, aka Stormboy13, and the storm has arrived. Wow! Hi guys, Stormboy13, and I bet you're wondering why I'm sitting down. I've just been to the gym, I've had a long day, so my legs are worn out, so why not? There's no one behind me, so I'm in a field, but it's a fairly empty space. But anyways, it's a fairly serious topic, unfortunately. As I'm getting back into the habit of doing some weather topics, the first one, straight away, is pretty much on most people's minds at the moment, especially those who are living in Europe: the wildfires in Greece. So, here are a few things how the wildfires have happened. First of all, the jet stream. Now, back a week or two ago, we've been stuck underneath an area of low pressure, as the jet stream has been, well, to the south of us, unfortunately, and yeah, it's kept all the low pressure systems in bay, with high pressure mainly confined to southern Europe. Now, the way the jet stream has positioned is across Central and Eastern Europe. The jet stream has been north of that particular area. And unfortunately, with Greece, particularly near the centre of the high pressure system, it is the perfect ingredient to scoop up some hot southerly winds which came up from Africa, or not far off from the Middle East, let's say. But temperatures, well, the week just gone, it's been one of the hottest weeks Greece has ever had, and the well, hottest heat wave they've had for about 3 decades. The camera just shut off on me for some reason, sorry about that. But anyways, basically speaking, Greece has had its hottest heat wave spell in 30 years. So temperatures, I don't know the exact figures, the captions are on there. 45 degrees at least has been reached in a few places. Athens has been well into the low 40s, 43, 44 possibly there. But there has been some unconfirmed reports that temperatures may have even been as high as 47 degrees Celsius in 1 or 2 areas, which is, well, I would describe that as dangerous and well, life-threatening, actually, let's say, because it's like being in an oven for an hour. You'd be roasted in just minutes, so that sort of heat is not to play about. But yeah, that's what Greece has been. Well, they normally get hot spells every year, but well, this year, for the last 30 years, it's been one of the hottest on record. And then unfortunately, because Greece is also arguably the driest country throughout Europe, especially in the summer months, where most of the low pressure systems usually meander across northern and central Europe, because the Azores High is mostly closer to the south, so that's why Greece doesn't get it. There will be occasions, but most of the time Greece will be underneath an area of high pressure, which is often the case because it's further south. And what happened was, unfortunately, because, well, consequently, unfortunately, because Greece is the driest, wildfires can quickly emerge. Now, as a weather expert, I wouldn't be at all surprised if it happens every single summer, but because of just how hot it's been this year and how dry, and possibly because of a bit of a breeze to blow it across, it's just been across northern Greece, there's been some deadly wildfires there. Another thing, that's a horrible thing for people having to do, is to evacuate. Now, obviously Greece, now this year obviously there's not been a lot of, well, international travel thanks to the coronavirus, and of course the travel restrictions have been very much firmly in place. And at this current time, I think Greece is on the amber list, so there wouldn't be a huge amount of people. They would have to quarantine when they return home for 10 days, I think. But generally, even for those who have been lucky enough to go away on holiday to Greece, this is probably an awful time. They've had to evacuate from the holiday homes, but mainly the Greek residents who potentially have never had to go through anything like this before. So what I've been hearing is there've been a lot of reports they've had to leave their homes, take the ferries back. Well, I haven't heard much about on the news, but I think it can only take like certain people from, or certain car registrations or whatever, to another island where there's less wildfires there. But yeah, thousands have had to be evacuated. No surprise, there'll be dozens of homes that will already be destroyed, or possibly will be destroyed in the next few days. And sadly, at this point in time of the information I'm giving out to you, because there might be more by the time you've seen this video, but this is Monday where this was filmed. At least 2 people lost their lives. This will probably rise further, sadly, as much regret I've got to say. But as well as that, if you were living in Greece, no question of doubt, there have been like blazing red skies, something you would see like an apocalyptic, how do you pronounce it? Apocalyptic movie. Yeah, you can put on the comments below how to pronounce it. I'm not great with certain words. Apocalyptic. But anyways, on a serious topic, that's not really what you want to see though. Blazing red sky, just makes it look like it's the end of the world. And it's not, well, for example, Australia in 2009 and last year, well, a year and a half ago, they've had similar scenarios where the sky's been blazing red, and of course with the threat of the ash and the wildfires has just been horrific. But it also happened, believe it or not, in San Francisco and Northern California, actually no, most of California, last summer, when they've had one of its, well, worst wildfires ever, because of so dry. And I think the previous winter has had, because I know it rains a lot in the winter because of how the low pressure and the high pressure systems run, but there's been a lack of rain the winter of 2019/2020, and then also consequently that also resulted in some severe wildfires. So all is down to some rainfall amount. If you don't get huge amounts of rainfall for a considerable amount of time on a certain season, for the wet season for example, and particularly in the dry months when you're prone to hot and dry conditions, you're pretty much nearly always guaranteed to get a severe wildfire season. Has there also been other countries been affected? Sadly, yes, Turkey has also been affected, as it's part of its neighbouring areas of Greece, but it's not been reported as much on the news, and it's most likely that because Turkey's had well actually they've had some thunderstorms, believe it or not. I've checked on the lightning radar over the last day or two, so obviously the wildfire threat will be much lower, but Greece is generally the talking point here. It has just been absolutely catastrophic. And just back on the evacuation point, it's mainly for elderly people who've had to be evacuated, 2,000 to 5,000 people broadly speaking. Also, the worst affected area is a place called Eva, with just an I in between the V and A. It's a silent letter. But yeah, the island of Eva, or Eva, whatever, has been the worst affected. It's been like hundreds, if not thousands of hectares completely destroyed as part of its consequence of the wildfires. It's also been a result of 2 large fire fronts, and well, most of the fires, broadly speaking, have probably been slightly under control. A large number have also been completely out of control. The main question is it going to be much more severe in the not too distant future? And again, I'm sorry to say this, it is likely to be yes. As the result of climate change, this is why action needs to be taken now. In the next 10 years, potentially, we could see the wildfire threat in Greece, let's say in 10 years' time, if no urgent action is taken to reduce carbon emissions, for example, then we could probably see this in Greece like every 5 to 10 years, as my prediction. So, just goes to show people's lives are in threats if we don't take any action. So, if you're from Greece and you're watching this video, my thoughts go out to you, and throughout the whole of the country, throughout the residents. I mean, pretty much quite a few countries, especially around Europe, and maybe a few outside of Europe, particularly with firefighters, they've had to come along to Greece and help out with emergency supplies, because it's just, they've never faced anything like this in 30 years. So my thoughts go out to you, Greece, and stay strong, and let's hope you pull through this, and let's hope this country doesn't see anything like this in the next, well, 20 to 30 years possibly. So wish you all well, and wish it never happened to you. Alright, on that note, that's all I've got to tell you, and if there's any sudden updates, I may possibly do another future video about it. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, and stay safe. As always, Storm is now out.